We've come to our second part of today's lesson. It's about serving two masters. No one can serve two masters. So okay. So we are reminded by the first commandment within the 10, within the Decalogue. Exodus 20, verse 3 to 5 says, And God spoke all these words, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an image in the form of anything, in heaven above or on the earth beneath or in the waters below. You shall not bow down to them or worship them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, punishing the children for the sin of the parents to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me. And from the Shema, Deuteronomy 6:4, the Lord is our God. No? That's something to be corrected here. The Lord is our God. The Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all our heart, with all your soul, with all your strength. And McKnight cites Martin Luther as Mammon's master. A man must make him, Mammon, lie at his feet. Okay. So it is the Mammon who is not the master, rather than the Mammon who is the one who lies down. But he must be subject to no one and have no master except the word of God. Okay. From Dale Allison, the healthy eye, interpreted as generosity, serves God. Okay. The unhealthy eye, interpreted as selfishness, serves mammon. It is there to serve only earthly wealth. Whether or not it is already had pejorative connotations in Jesus' time is unclear. But perhaps the tradition transliterated instead of translating because it functioned like the name of an idol. No? From Aaron Gale, in McKnight, the term was originally derived, meaning mammon, no? The term mammon was originally derived from Aman, which is related to the word amen, no? Meaning trust, reliance, meaning that in which other than God, one places one's trust. So instead of trusting God, you are putting your aman to mammon. Okay. First, by masters, Jesus does not have 20th century employers in mind, no? Most of whom are limited in authority by trade unions, but something closer to slave owners. Is it possible to work for two employers? It is not so easy to serve two masters, because you will always be put into a crossroad, no? As the landscape that was shown in the slide. You will always make a decision. You will always choose one over the other. Second, the contrast between love and hate is a common Semitic idiom, neither part of which may legitimately be taken absolutely. To hate one of two alternatives and to love the other simply means the latter is strongly preferred, especially if there is any contest between the two. If there is a need to extinguish one, and then to accept the other. This idiom sheds light on the words of Jesus. If anyone comes to me and does not hate his father and mother, his wife and children, his brothers and sisters, yes, even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. But of course, the meaning here is you love your spouse, your parents more than you love God. So that comes as the problem being highlighted in this discussion. Still with Allison, but Mammon invites one to serve oneself through the accumulation of goods. So again, it is self-service, but again, it is partly, it seems like there's godly, no? There's no God or an activity of godliness. No? Carson, the word translated money in the New International Version is transliterated in most other versions mammon. Originally, the word meant something in which one puts confidence, no? Similar to the description of Aman, no? Or the like. Eventually, no doubt, because man's confidence is so often deposited in riches. Okay? And that is when a person says, I remember it was David, right? Who said, he is praying to God that he will not be so poor that he will steal, no? Or he will become rich and then forget about God. No? Sometimes we can see the similarity of what David said, no, with regards to what we are looking at here. No? So yung profit, wealth, and too many of these riches in the world, no, can change a man's heart, no, or rather lose sight of God, no, in his living and making decisions. No? So profit, wealth, and money, they are to refer to material possessions. No one can be simultaneously devoted to both God and money. Okay. We need money, but money should not be, but God should be the center of our lives, not money. And so Carson said, let us admit it. Many of us try very hard to compromise in this area. Okay. Two jobs became available, and for most of us, if you're pushed to make a decision, of course you will choose the one with the bigger salary. No. Not the opportunity presented by each option to serve the Lord. Sometimes these things happen, no? And I would say sometimes, or either you heard of someone experiencing it, no? Because right now I'm thinking of a friend who is in Silang Cavite, that there was a time that he was already being called to the ministry, but he ignored, no? He ignored the call and pursued what he wanted. But and I think he pursued that profession for 10 years or so. But in the long run, he grew tired, and then he decided to enter the ministry. And so he had to leave, no. He had to resign from that job, no, in Dasmariñas. So again, no, so God will allow us, no. God will allow these things to happen. Meaning, by His permissive will, He will not intervene, okay, us to make a decision, but it is in the long run, no, that we realize what we really want to do, no? Where what place we really want to be in, ano. So we make a needless move to be a bigger and better car or a bigger and better home for no other reason than to keep up with or surpass other peers. From Philo, it is impossible for love of the world to coexist with the love of God. So another way of rephrasing, no, yung sa writings ni Philo, it is not possible to attach yourself both to things mortal and to things divine. So Poimandres, this is why with the question of money, human existence as such is at stake. You must put God first, or this is very strong, no? Coming from Gore. You must put God first or nowhere. So it's like you should have no other decision. You should not make any other decision. It's just God and nothing else, no? And so following Jesus doesn't mean slavish imitation. So that because Jesus was poor, we should also become poor. We should also become like ano yon, in economic economic situation, no? If Jesus wore sandals, so should we. So, of course, we should look beyond, no? Sophisticated and sensitive hermeneutics, not designed to rationalize our behavior or lifestyle, but seriously intended to explore how we live out the things of Jesus. And then, yeah, not unlike the way Paul took the gospel into Gentile lands, requires both challenging our world but also adapting and adapting Jesus' vision to our world. John Wesley, no, cited by Scott McKnight, do not store up did not mean we shouldn't pay taxes, no, or pay off loans. It does not prohibit providing the means of sustenance. It does not prohibit labor that provides for our own families. And it does not prohibit occasionally storing up in order to accomplish what God has called us to accomplish. Diba? So we know, for example, of course, when you're trying to construct a church building, then you need to store up gravel, hollow blocks, cement, diba? Even water. But this is interesting, yung kay Craig Keener. No? Craig Keener helps us live out this text in the discretion. Diba, you shall not love God nor ano, no? You cannot have two masters. You shall love one and despise the other. If disciples really trust God, they will live as if treasures in heaven really matter. Okay? So it sounds too abstract, no? Second, those whose perspective is distorted by materialism. So this now sounds in relation to the problem of mammon is materialism. Are blinded to God's truth, no? And some and um in a way, what was that? Okay. Pero sige, talo na lang tayo dyan. Anything? Kada, no? So unfortunate naman. Sige, Pastor Chling.
Doc, in the sense of ano, yung actual question to, this will be question. If want to hear lang your insights about kunyari yung Bible na mga pastors. Though if whatever if the case would be hindi kaya provide ng church yung basic needs and then the pastor does go on a regular job,
Hmm.
'di ba? Is that parang pasok ba doon sa category of serving two masters? Though no, parang ano naman din. May mga context din. Pero parang doon na lang sa Bible na ano, would a pastor should be a full-time or it depends pa din. Parang ganun.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say that it is a love for mammon that prompted that person to have a bivocational um or another job, no? Or a bivocational situation. I do not it's siguro ano naman kawawa naman si pastor if we look in that perspective. But again, we need here the concept of balance, no? Kasi we are always told, no, that our first ministry is the family. And how can we serve God's church if we ignore the needs of our family? So we really need to cultivate that portion of our lives. And from there, dapat si pastor should learn how to also include, no, yung time, effort, and then planning and ministries within the church. So maybe that is how I summarize the issue. But again, a person who desires to follow mammon, it is also obvious, eh. You can also see it, eh, na the priority or the priority is mammon, not God, because the church suddenly it was forgotten. It was forgotten and it is ignored. And we know that like either cultivating a plant, a tree, a garden or taking care of sheep, no? Kasi hindi kasi ako marunong mag-alaga ng ano, tupa. Literally, no? So, if we do not care for them, they will starve, they will die, or they will get sick. Ganun talaga yung realities of life. If we are the pastor and then we do not bring balance, no, to the force, do not establish a proper balance between what we should do and what we should not do, then that is when a lot of problems come in. Pero perhaps you have a follow-up to that, no, Pastor? Parang initial question lang yun eh.
Siguro parang ano lang din. Tignan ko lang din sa case ko kasi actually in terms of the church, especially sa World International, they're open to this one. Though yung challenging this is for me po, no? Medyo challenging lang siguro sa case ko. Kasi parang since I'm parang juggling everything right now. Hindi to parang ang tawag nun? Hindi siya corporate, 'di ba? But though yung business, ministry, tapos family, magkakasunod na siya, tapos still study. And when I was looking dito sa part na to, sabi nga rin George Hill po, the Churchill ng COG, George Hill nga ba yun? Yung parang general pastors ng COG. One thing na huwag daw kakalimutan would be family. Pag ang family ang concern would be, syempre, kailangan yung income, syempre, ma-provide mo din. Kasi how can you actually share to the church while your family would be destroyed? Parang ganun sense eh. Kaya sabi ko, may team line. Para for example ako ngayon po, di ba, I have work. Hindi ko na taga-hinayang makompromise yung mga schedules. Though, what if, yun nga, may mga, yun nga yung word ko ngayon, sabi sa akin nito kilala naman siguro si Christy or naka-record pa pala. Sabi sa akin
Yung kaibigan natin, sabi ng kaibigan natin.
Sabi sa kaibigan natin. When I do preach or kaya a Bible study, she often hears me parang yung boses daw ng boss niya. So parang napaghahalo ko tuloy yung pagiging, alam mo yun, somehow boss ng kabila tapos pagiging pastor nito. Kasi ito pa yung dilemma ko, yung tao mo would be definitely, kunyari galing from outreach, gusto mong tulungan. Tapos pagpasok nila ng church, they definitely ask, sir, or hindi na nga, paano kaya address, no? May mga teen line eh. Kaya sabi ko, challenging pa din pala to. Para in a sense na, pag mo sasabi mo, for example, pagdating ng 5, we are parang magkakapatid na, we are brothers and sisters. Pero hindi mo maalis sa mga, syempre, sa mga gaya nila na i-respect ka in this manner. Kasi mas mahaba na ka na lang they've parang be with you for the longest days. For example, 6 days, 5 days. Then, pagdating sa Sunday, tatawagin na lang ito, no? So, tapos paano magagalit? How can you be, kunyari, for example, they failed. No, you will be angry. Will you be angry as a pastor or will you be angry as a boss? Yan yung mga ano ko ngayon eh. Yeah, yan yung mga challenges ko right now. But I was challenged din by our senior pastor, no? So who are you? How can the congregation see you in that perspective, no? So medyo ako ano po ko I am parang strict na boss. Tapos biglang sasabihin ng Lord be ano yan, ang tawag ito, yung be loving and kind. Parang ganun yung case ko eh. So sabi ko, Lord, it is hard, no? It's hard to parang you don't parang don't be angry. Don't sin when you are parang in a state of anger siguro. So siguro yun yung isa. No? Kaya sabi ko pala one of my testimonies would be it's a really hard path if ever you're doing double hat. For double hat meaning after this one you do this one. Parang tama din naman if the church can provide mas siguro for me if the church can provide might as well focus na lang din sa word. Kasi ang dami eh. Mahalo. So this is for me. It's not for everyone.
Yeah. Sige lang.
It's not for everyone. So I think for me as a young pastor, I take it parang it's hard. Especially yung case pa right now would be Parang ngayon, tama din po kayo doon, no? Meron ng, yung, alam niyo, yung parang bumibirit na enter sa church, legalistic masyado. If you are rich, you should be on in front, and then back and forth. If you are not wearing this type of dress, parang somehow you have this kind of, different treatment, no? So, ako, personally, I want parang how Jesus treat everyone, Jesus treat everyone the same. So, that's one. Dinig lang ko po. So, yun lang sa akin, Doc.
Okay. Pero I think you answered your own question eh. While you're you have something, you came with an inquiry, and then while you're hearing yourself talk, no, then you found your own answer. I think that's good. That's good. That's good. So no. One problem at a time. Okay. Thank you. So I think we're done with this part, no? Unfortunate that portions of this lesson was not recorded, but again, we will go after yung next